keep it for good. Freedom is now or never. We either win it or lose it forever. Freedom is now or never. We rather win it and keep it for good. Can't just see that Agamawaha na jai kama. Can't just see that Can't just waha na jai kama.
All right, it's 9:33 on 939 Solutions, 93.9 FM. My name is ADEDAMOLA Lafenwa, and with this powerful song done way back in the year 1986 by the late Ozini King, Sonny Okosun, saying now or never, I welcome you to this day's edition of From the Daily segment on AM Update. And today is the big day, June 12. 31 years gone by. I still remember that fateful Saturday morning vividly up till this moment. And on this show today, we will be talking about the events of June 12. And we'll also talk about some of the things that the President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, addressed Nigerians with in commemoration of the Democracy Day. Good morning. Happy Democracy Day, FAVOUR Lawrence.
Good morning. Happy Democracy Day to all Nigerians. It's been a very good, wonderful ride for the years we've been democratic. I mean, the election process, the way we choose our leaders, it's been away from the dictatorship, and it's been good. Well, I'd like to say congratulations to Nigeria for upholding this for a very, very long time. And this is another day, and yet a very significant one for Nigeria. My name is FAVOUR Lawrence. We'll be delving into the significance, yes, and as well as the President's speech today, and a whole lot on the second half of AM Update on Solutions 93.9 FM.
Okay, without wasting much time, most of the papers we have this morning talk about the Democracy Day, and I have the Punch newspaper as well as the Nation newspaper with me.
Okay, I have one of the papers that the President actually hailed in a speech this morning. I have the Nigerian Tribune and the Vanguard newspaper this morning. Well, I'll be starting with the Nigerian Tribune for today. Today being June 12, 2024, another Democracy Day. Well, let's start with the banner headline on the Nigerian Tribune this morning. June 12 anniversary, Tinubu warns of internal threat to undermine democracy. Page 3, 4 and 12. AO's Tribune, others for their sacrifices. Notes reforms necessary to fix economy, says executive bill coming soon. On agreement with Labour. Winner takes all politics inimical to unity. Justice Jonathan wants Tinubu to dilute politics of religion, region, opposition's lack of capacity to unite, threaten to democracy. Article June 12. Solemn reminder, reflection on democracy in Nigeria. MBF. Now to other headlines on the Nigerian Tribune this morning. Court nullifies amendment to Rivers Assembly Commission law. Page 6. Abiodun Amosun trade words over unpaid severance allowance to political appointees. Wow. On page 15, you can get that dramatic story. Now, Oyetola Commission's landmark project at NIWA. Malawi VP's plane wreckage found. No survivors. That's on page 4.
That's a plane that had the Vice President of Malawi on board, too.
That's a very sad story for this morning. Now, over 300 companies shut down. 380,000 jobs lost within 2 months. Reps, CSOs, others lament impact of recent electricity tariff hike. It's having a very, very bad effect on Nigerians and especially on organizations who run on this. Well, civilian workers in Defense Ministry embark on indefinite strike over killing, brutalization of colleagues by military men. Afenifere differs with FG, Tinubu and LG autonomy. And finally, that is in Lagos State on page 26 of the Nigerian Tribune. 5 die, 60 hospitalized in suspected Lagos cholera outbreak. These and more you find on the pages of the Nigerian Tribune.
Okay, moving to the Punch newspaper this morning. The biggest story on the front page says, Democracy Day, Tinubu hails Abiola, others warns against anti-democratic forces. And the rider under that says, President vows to preserve democracy, appeases Nigerians over economic hardship. Moving away from that, Supreme Court begins sitting as states counter FG on LG funds. Dangote Refinery commences PMS supply July. That story is found on page 31. Lagos Calabar Highway, FG rewrote mega project, slashes lanes to 6. Page 31. And let me take a few more stories. Tinubu, AU mourn Malawi vice president. Others killed in plane crash. UK University offers expelled Nigerian students flight support. Lagos urges caution as cholera kills 5, 60 hospitalized. I mean, there is an outbreak of cholera in Lagos as we speak. Page 43. And the last one I'll be taking, data breach, FG fires 4 banks, others 400 million naira. These and many more will be found on the pages of the Punch newspaper this morning.
All right, so the Vanguard newspaper is quite bulky as well as the Nigerian Tribune, but I have to take them. Now on June 12, current challenges being used to impair democracy, Tinubu. There are others written underneath that. I'll try to take that. You can see page 5 of the Vanguard newspaper right there. Says it is time to build a nation where every voice is heard, citizens empowered, democracy yet to deliver prosperity, liberty to Nigerians. Atiku adds unity amongst opposition parties are key to democracy's survival. PDP accuses APC of desecrating Abiola's legacy, says Nigerians angry over hardship. Nigerians yet to enjoy basic amenities, ASU tells Tinubu. Nigerians still bleeding over bad governance here. So, as FG declares June 12th, public holiday. I mean, children are really happy and excited. Now, Governor Abiodun orders renovation of Abiola's house. DSS draws red line on protests. Well, that is every story.
It's quite a bulky
one on the Vanguard newspaper. But moving on to others. The upper part here says, cholera outbreak, 5 die, 60 hospitalized in Lagos. While foreign investment aren't driving economic death in Nigeria. Jonathan to Tinubu, build democracy that will reduce frictions. You can find that on page 8. And now this is majorly concerning the citizens. Why Nigerian startups are struggling. Okay, that is a story that would interest me to go look out, but you can go check it out. Now please, military's attitude to banditry, frustrating. Zamfara governor. Speaking on page 9 of the Vanguard newspaper, Dangote Refinery postpones commencement of petrol supply to July. Okay, well, you can find this and many more on the Vanguard newspaper this morning.
Okay, let me quickly take the front page of the Nation newspaper this morning. Ongoing reforms will lead to stronger economy, says Tinubu. And let's keep fire of democracy burning. Lawmakers to get bill on agreed minimum wage. That story is found on the front page of the Nation newspaper. Witness Emefiele ignored Buhari's approval in Naira printing. DSS warns protesters with sinister motive. And let me take this last one. I believe in council autonomy. Kwara governor affirms why ethnic politics is a ticking time, by Jonathan. These and many more will be found on the pages of the Nation newspaper. Of course, like we said, we are celebrating Democracy Day today, June 12, a very significant day. And when we talk about June 12, that is the one that happened on a Saturday morning in 1993, we can't talk about June 12 without talking about this particular tune.
Now why for this life, oh, now so palava. I tire for this problem, I tire for life, oh. Guinea, no work, no food, no house, no life. This small water, then they bring now so dirty, they pull am. This small money, I they get now social transport, they chop am. School low, now headache, hospital, no work. I tire for life, oh. My brother, waiting you they think, oh. My sister, help don't come. SDP, MKO, Kingibe, action. MKO, Kingibe, SDP, progress. Abiola na the hope, SDP na the party to solve our problem and better our life. Oh, MKO, 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 action. Abiola, 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 progress. Now him be the hope for better tomorrow.
Sure, that particular jingle brought a lot of nostalgia into the minds of people that were old enough to understand what really happened in the year 1993, talking about June 12 election, talking about the man MKO, Moshood, Kashimawo, Olawale Abiola, and June 12. To do more, to do justice to this analysis this morning, we have Comrade Ayodeji Ajisokwe joining us virtually this morning. A beautiful morning to you, Comrade Ayodeji Ajisokwe.
Good morning. Good morning, Comrade.
Hello, Comrade. Oh, okay, let's try to reconnect with Comrade Ayodeji Ajisokwe. Okay, we now have Comrade Ayodeji Ajisokwe joining us virtually this morning. A beautiful morning to you, Comrade Ayodeji Ajisokwe.
A beautiful June 12 morning to each and every one of us.
Okay, let's talk about... Did you listen to the jingle I played a while ago?
Oh, yes, I did.
Okay.
MKO, Abiola,
I mean,
Igigbe.
Hope 93 presidential jingle.
Hope 93. Farewell to poverty was
Farewell
the
to
manifest.
that is it. Farewell to poverty was the manifesto there. Now let's talk about June 12. You know, before June 12, we've had presidential election in Nigeria, and after June 12 election, we've had several other presidential elections held in this country. But what makes June 12 stand out of all these presidential elections we've had, and the man MQ Abiola, what makes him a giant that we are celebrating up till this moment?
That is the exact word. Before becoming a presidential candidate, Moshood Kashimawo Olawale Abiola, a man I first came across in January 1973 as a schoolboy, because his son and I were living together and in the same secondary school where himself graduated from. He became a giant. Every household, everybody, virtually everybody knew the man. It's either MKO or Abiola. You know, various times he became Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò. You know, so it was already known every nook and cranny of this country. He had 185 titles, the last being Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò.
Definitely.
So he was very well known. He was a Muslim. He attended and he schooled he was trained by the Baptists.
Yes.
Even at the point in time when people were saying he's a Muslim and all of that, the Nigerian Baptist Convention, the Christian Association of Nigeria, issued a statement endorsing Abiola that he is one of us. And he got the ticket of his party in Jos. He got the backing of major stakeholders. And then he went to the field. And he won. And I remember I came to vote in Ibadan. I was residing in Lagos, but I was registered in Ibadan. I came to Ibadan to vote. Basharun, yes. Methodist, there's a school in Basharun where I voted. And I recall that we operated the one they call the open secret ballot. Open secret ballot was what we used. The symbol of your party, the logo of your party will be on one queue, and then the other party. And then you queue behind. And openly, everybody counted. You know? So everybody knew the result when they were counting. So they counted, and everybody got the result before they departed the polling station. Therefore, all his agents, they were able to collect results as elections were being held. So, that before 6 p.m., the results of the elections were already known by everybody. And that was what was very special about Abiola. The man's stature, his stature as a citizen, a global citizen. Abiola was just an overwhelming character. And mark you, go and check the distribution of the vote. Every geopolitical zone, there was no ethnicity and there was no religious faith exhibited by Nigerians. For once, we spoke as a people. All these things that politicians use to divide us, ethnicity, faith, and all of that, we overcame that day and went for the man that was prepared and properly equipped for the job. For once.
Now, talking about what really happened during June 12, 1993 election, and do we now say that Nigeria has not been able to learn any lesson? I mean, talking about how good you just spoke about the election, why haven't we been able to at least to meet up with that standard that June 12, 1993 election had up to this moment?
Don't forget that we had two parties. And if there are two parties, that means you can't have parties based on ethnicity. You know, one party belonging to the Yorubas, one belonging to Easterners, one belonging to Northerners, and all of that. The moment you have strictly two-party structure, you can have ethnically based parties, not religious-based parties. That was it. It is so sad that Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida built a beautiful model, and by his own hand destroyed everything. He is a villain in history now. He built all of that. He had brilliant people around him. There was this professor from Benin. He's dead now. He was his political advisor. And the Cookie Report. You know, he had brilliant mind. You can imagine the kind of cabinet the man put together. Mamsa, Professor Likoir and some Kuti, and Professor Bolaji Akiyemi, brilliant people. You know, he was a thinker too. But you see, the human frailty of it was simply human frailty All this talk about and I got threatened, they were going to kill me, and all of that. Even if he got killed, he would have been more popular globally that he died in pursuit of democratic ideals for Nigeria, for his people. That is why Abiola's name is not going to go away. Look, we don't study that in our curriculum. Look, one day soon, maybe we are inching towards it. June 12 has become Democracy Day, Abi. Obasanjo made May 29 Democracy Day, which is not. So, but the right thing was done. He has been conferred with GCFR. And then, one day soon, not long from today, this is the 31st anniversary, Abiola will be declared elected president of Nigeria. And that will be full recognition and acknowledgement of the sins of the military against the Nigerian people.
Okay, Comrade Adedeji Adishope, I love the history and I love the way you took us back. I mean, it made me remember the campaign of I Had No Shoes, if you remember that. And the way you painted it was the fact that we were all united in a way, and the same thing happened during the regime of President Goodluck Jonathan. Now, I want us to go back to the previous election and let's just, look at some things that we might be able to improve on so that our democracy can be better in Nigeria. And then we now proceed to our president's speech on Democracy Day.
The last elections that we had, especially the presidential election,
Yes.
brought back again to the fore, before our own very eyes, the fault line in our nation, Nigeria. Ethnicity played out, religion played out. Yoruba said, Emilokan, and they said, Awalokan. Awalokan is Emilokan. Emilokan is Awalokan. The Igbos followed their own man. The Christians, even in the northeast and north central, voted the one they thought was a Christian. Even in the United States, evangelicals, they are supporting Trump because they think he's a Christian, a non-going Christian. He doesn't go to church. Yet they say they think he's an evangelical. So the things that divide us came to the forefront and played out and played significant role in the number of votes each of the candidates got. Southeast was sealed up for what do you call his name? Peter Obi. At percentages unprecedented. Even in the days of Regis. 97, 94, 95, 85% vote for a candidate. Based on what? Based on ethnicity. Pure ethnicity. Those who voted Plateau and Benue and some states in the northeast, Adamawa and Taraba, they voted religion. They voted simply religion. So, all of that Yoruba land voted, except Osun State. Except Osun State. Yoruba voted a Milokan. So, of course, in the north, because of the support of some of the governors, you understand, what's his name? And the president was able to make necessary, impactful inroads. And that shows the quality of the man, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, just like Abiola. Of course, he does not have the stature of Abiola. He does not have anything near it. But he learned. People keep telling me that he learned from the failures of Awolowo, and he also learned from the failures of MKO Abiola. You saw that he kept quiet, even when he was doing rubbish during the second term of Muhammadu Buhari. He kept his eyes on the ball. He kept, even at that, they did not want to give a ticket to him. But he was his own sponsor. He was nobody's candidate, unlike I Have No Shoes or Yaradua. He was his own candidate. He was his own man. That was why he was able to. The president railroaded his way to office. He railroaded his way to the ticket, and he railroaded his way to office. You remember he went to the second time and he said, a the man practically railroaded his way into office. So, of course, you will still have to play, to the nuances of geopolitical politicking. That is why I've not done anything about it. And you say, yeah, People are saying what he's going to do. No, it is not smart. It is not politically smart and correct of him to upset anything in NNPC. Tactically, he has taken the resources from NNPC. Okay, don't pay money to NNPC alone. Again, pay to central bank. That is a smart move, you understand? They have taken a lot of leverage out of the hands of NNPC. Eventually, I keep saying, NNPCL will be put on the stock market, and that will be it. So, and of course, being president, he will sell. They will arrange the sale of NNPC shares in such a way that it will favor those whom they want to favor. So the president is savvy, politically savvy, and he needs to balance it continually.
All right. Before we go into the speech given by President Bola Tinubu this morning, you made mention of something when we were talking about the history of June 12, and you spoke that what made the June 12, 1993 election a wonderful one was the fact that there was a two-party system being operated that removed ethnicity and religious and everything, all those sentiments. Now, do we now say that for us to maintain, for the future presidential elections to meet up to the standard of June 12, 1993 election, should we now start practice, or should we go back to the two-party system?
Well, you see, those who thrive, we're not going to have it. The military decreed it. And it was in the nation's interest. But let me tell you one thing. Those who thrive, playing ethnic and religious politics, will not let it happen again. They will not let it happen again. And really, that should not be our focus. You understand? Our development should not be center-based. Development should not be center-based. If we're going to evolve as a federation, let development come from the federating unit. Any development that is center-based is it's not going to permeate. So we probably don't need it anymore. If we're going to be developing from geopolitical zones, from the federating unit, we don't need a strong. All this, you see, the military thought they could decree unity. You don't decree unity. You engender unity. You foster unity. But the military started putting things in place that they thought they could decree. One national grid, federal schools, taking over federal universities built by region. You understand? ABU, UNN, University of Italy. You turn them into federal universities instead of in an attempt to decree unity. But we have seen. But you can't blame the military. That is the way they are trained. So I don't think we need all those things anymore. Why not? Why not regional government? Yes, regional government, regional parties. Why not? And we do our own thing. You saw the Yoruba Southwest met in Lagos a few days ago. Was it yesterday or the day before yesterday? And if they can build the geopolitical zone, then the adjoining geopolitical zone does the necessary thing. I mean, all this federal government building one road from Lagos to Calabar at the cost of 11 trillion naira. That's ridiculous. I mean, I do roads that I need from our own geopolitical zone to the end of our own geopolitical zone, and encourage the next geopolitical zone to do the needful, and we connect in mutual interest. So all of that's what we need. We don't need all this federal. It has taken us nowhere. So all these national political parties, someone can rise above ethnicity. Someone can rise above, religious sentiment and be a national leader, even in the midst of all of this.
Okay, now still talking about June 12, we had so many martyrs. I would like to call martyrs. I mean, people that sacrificed or they are paid for the June 12 with their lives.
And the president made he referred to them today.
Talking about late Kudirat Abiola, talking about Pa Alfred Rewane and General Musa Yaradua, and just to mention a few. Do you feel that the country has been able to at least to recognize the impact of the role played by these people so far? Because we seem to talk about Abiola all the time, but do we remember those people that laid down their lives for the struggle?
Politicians, have been wary of the military so that they don't look as if they want to rubbish the military. You know, we still have generals in Agbada, generals sponsoring people all over the place, and they have a lot of resources at their control. But we have done 25 years of unbroken civilian rule. I will not call it democratic rule. We hold elections.
You said you will not call it democratic rule. Why?
No. The democracy, the simplest thing we have about democracy is that democracy is the government of the people, by the people, for the people. It's what we look, what we have now. Will you say it is a government of the people, by the people, for the people?
Well,
I don't think it is the deal. That is the simplest.
It will be so, because the president made it very imperative, and he actually, put a stand on it during the strike and the greed and the likes of it last week. He made mention of, we did not arrest anybody. It's a sign of democracy.
Don't forget that civil liberties are guaranteed in the Constitution.
Okay.
I mean, you see, even for the president to say, it is highly ridiculous. When I listen to that speech, we did not arrest anybody. I mean, how do you come on national television and start saying we did not arrest anybody?
It is not a military rule.
As opposed to the previous government,
It's a low. It's a low. Arrest them because they are there. If you think they have done anything, arrest them. Look, they know the feelings, they know the sentiment in town. They will just turn the guys into heroes. They will just turn them into heroes. They will turn people like Ajaero, that we know is probably a villain. They will turn them to heroes. So they know why they couldn't arrest them. They know the sentiment in town. And it's highly ridiculous for the president to come and say, we did not arrest them. That's ridiculous. That's a low coming from the Bola Ahmed Tinubu. People who fought the military.
So back to what you were saying now, we can't call what we're practicing as a democratic rule.
No, it is not democracy. It is civil rule. It is civil rule because at least we go to vote. And we don't see snatching of ballot paper, ballot boxes, and somebody printing 1,000, 10,000 ballots. You don't see that anymore. We have evolved. You understand? We have evolved. But democracy, no. But democracy.
Okay.
One of the pillars of democracy is multi-party. And when you have internal party democracy, when you have internal party democracy, the governors choose all the candidates. One governor openly said he bought all the forms for members of House of Assembly, for members of the Senate. The election we had recently in Oyo State for local government, was that an election? It is on record that elections do not take place in so many places. So is that democracy? The governor picks them, and under one year consensus that they go about proclaiming. You understand? It is not democracy. We know it is not an event. We realize it is a journey. Have we moved away from do or die of 2007 that Obasanjo, was it 2003 that was do or die? Have we moved away from do or die of Obasanjo in 2003?
Yes. Comrade, when you said it's a journey, are we improving?
To the promised land?
Are we improving?
Are we evolving?
Are we evolving? Are we improving? Are we evolving positively? Positively. No, you can actually evolve negatively. Are we evolving positively?
Let me, you will call it positive or whatever. We have evolved from do or die to the one that Jonathan brought, and then the one, what do they call this one that we use now? That the machine that we use, accreditation machine.
Beavers.
Beavers. So, if you consider, look, I saw live like this in 2003 local government elections. Ballot boxes were being snatched live like this. I was there. I was moving around in a motor monitoring, and nobody does that anymore. Nobody does that anymore.
Comrade, even with the invention of the beavers and all those things, we still have cases of winners of elections being declared by the courts. Is that democratic?
Yes.
Yeah, is it part of is that part of positive evolve?
It's still democracy, because
is that
people
part of
are still
positive?
being heard.
No, I want to ask him, is that part of being positive when you talk about evolving positively?
You see, the case of the judiciary, the involvement of the judiciary in what people now call judicial haste. Even the AC that evolved into ACS and a major part of APC now. They came into power in the southwest from Edo to Ekiti to Ondo State. They came via electoral anarchy. They seized the southwest via electoral where judicial pronouncement. You understand? Yes, in some cases they proved it beyond reasonable doubt. I remember Edo, they proved it. And people are using palm kernel to print on ballot papers and all of that. So, during the case of the judiciary has judiciary, even outside of electoral cases, judiciary has become a very, very sore thumb in our democratic process. And it raises big, huge questions. Have they joined the fray? You understand? The executive branch and the parliamentary, have they joined the fray? I mean, it's highly ridiculous, some of the things we have. Number 4 becoming number 1. And frivolous. You see, when we're talking about restructuring in Nigeria, restructuring is not about let the states have power. Look at it now, federal court giving, when you even have no jurisdiction, original jurisdiction, that is what you must have, original jurisdiction. Those federal courts used to be tax court before they evolved, and then how can you interfere in chieftaincy matter? Does the federal government appoint emirs? Do they appoint Oba?
Does
the federal government appoint Obis? That the federal high court now is now making pronouncements on chieftaincy matter. Even
the governors are now already involved in chieftaincy matters and enthronement as we speak.
No, it's the exclusive preserve of the state government.
Okay.
It is the exclusive preserve of the state government. Yes, they say the governors are the oracles now. You know why? They say it is the oracles that chooses kings. But the governors are not the oracles, that speak. The oracle in Oyo State spoke a few days ago that Anoba will be enthroned when he speaks. He's the oracle. He's speaking from the.
Okay, now talking about your definition of democracy. Now, I want to quote Lillian Obiageli Orogbo, the female legislator, the House of Reps representing Anambra, Awka North and Awka South. Remember what she said when sometime May 29, when he said to celebrate Democracy Day, that Nigeria has not been fair enough to the people. When you say democracy is the government of the people,
for the people,
and by the people. But what we're practicing, people are suffering. Do we now say she had a point, judging by what your description of democracy, what it should be?
The person speaking, the person that woman.
The professor.
I remember you played that clip last week.
Yeah.
How did she get her ticket?
She has the Labour Party ticket. She's from the LP.
Yes. Those who pick Labour Party tickets, they virtually freely picked it up and rode on the sentiment of the moment. Now, we will watch her whether she will still be in Labour Party during the 2027 election. Most of them would defect to what they call the ruling party. Everybody wants to be. You see, politicians, they don't ask them what is their conviction. The only thing they stand for is power. Power. Let's get the power, and then we will think of what to do with it. Yes, the people, you and I know that the Nigerian masses, you and I cannot claim to be in the middle class. How did I really? We should be in the middle class, but we are not.
So where are
education,
we? Where are we, comrade? If we are not in the middle class, where are we?
Are you a member of the middle class?
Someone actually told me that there's no longer middle class. It's either you are up there or you're down there.
Yes, you either have or you don't have. And you don't have when what you have is not enough. That means you don't have. You see, I have a little, I can manage. What are you managing? And the value of what you have is depreciating every day. Somebody was telling, when my mom told me yesterday or the day before that a Congo of beans is 4,000.
Yes.
I was shocked. I heard yesterday too.
I was shocked, so shocked that I was wondering what was happening. You understand? So, I mean, if a Congo, for God's sake, how many Congos of beans are you going to get on your salary? So, and some people can afford to distribute trailer loads of rice. You understand? This Salah, members of the House of Arrest, they will distribute trailer loads. Senators will distribute. They have gone on vacation now. They will distribute trailer loads. They will distribute cows. They will distribute.
Those ones you're mentioning, they have enough money now. They have lots of money. They have. We all know
where
now.
are they getting the money from? Where are they getting? They will get. They will even get allowance for that.
No,
they get allowance for that.
They're working for it.
Should we say the type of democracy we're practicing is enriching some people and not doing
improvisation
other set of people? Because talking about the senators, you don't want to go there.
In places where governance is about service, when you move from the private sector to the public sector, you earn less than what you are taking in the private sector. Check it out. Those who leave, that is why some people do not even want to serve in those places. You earn far less than you earn in private sector, because the private sector has to attract the best of the best. Of course, the public sector too needs the best of the best. But look at the time Olikoye started. Olikoye even went to his office driving himself most of the time. He drove a Golf, Volkswagen Golf.
Yeah.
A professor of pediatrics for how many decades? He drove a Volkswagen Golf.
And the 7th Minister of Health.
Yes, he drove a Volkswagen Golf. Some people would think it is demeaning to be seen driving that now. You know? What is the essence? You see, for me, some of these things, it is functionality. If I want to buy a phone, if I don't have the money, I'm not going to buy some brand, because some other brands too have those functions. And this mental attitude of status, it is service. If you are not going to serve, what is the problem? So if it is service, service in Yoruba means ifara energy. If you are going to be serving the people, there must be sacrifices to be made. We must not make them more, if they are more comfortable than the people. Angela Merkel, she lived in a two-bedroom apartment. She did her laundry by herself. In the White House, you pay for your food and you pay for the utility. You understand? If you live in a place and you don't know gasoline, everything, the cars you drive and everything is paid for, you are going to be disconnected from the people. You're not going to. But if you bring money out and the driver tells you there's no fuel in the vehicle again, you say how much is there? We need 100,000. I will say 100,000. You understand? You can't feel the pain of the people anymore when there's a disconnect. You don't pay for food. You don't pay for utility. You can't feel the people anymore.
The president is feeling it because he made mention of the economic challenges, especially on the reliance on oil importation exploration for the finances and of Nigeria. But let's move away from that. Let's talk about the president's speech.
Let me ask you this. Did you hear the president this morning when he said, I feel your pain? I almost choked.
It was part of the speech.
Comrade, why did you choke? Why did you almost choke when he said, I feel your pain?
That is a lie from the pit of hell. You feel your pain?
He knows, because he's trying his best not for us not to rely on importation and exploration.
You say you feel. How is he feeling the pain? On the pages of news report?
No, probably he knows that the reforms and the...
No, one can actually feel something without actually experiencing it. It's possible.
Babangida and Obasanjo, they will drive out. You understand?
Yes.
Drive out. Does this president do that? Did Buhari do that? You understand? If you don't... Somebody was telling me, I said, sometimes I deliberately go, even if I don't drive my car every time because of the cost of fuel. You go, when you get alienated and insulated in your own... I think I've said it on this program once. There was a day when I was in Lautech, I was driving out of the Vice Chancellor's Lodge, and the security man stopped me and said, we want to put off the generator. I said, why are you telling me? He said the generator has been on for 3 days. I flew up my hand. I said, if it is your own house, will you put your generator on for 3 days? And I said, why? He said, because we had guests. I said, will our guests go blind if you put up the generator
They
in
need to be
daytime. You understand?
comfortable.
You know. So if you didn't ask me, how will I know if you are not on generator that we are burning 100 liters of diesel per day? Eh? You understand? So that's why people, little by little, people get disconnected. In the D6 law, we didn't pay for DSTV, we didn't pay for food, we didn't pay for nothing. Friday, they will fill the tank of my official car, 180 liters. So it is at that small little level. You cannot imagine governor's law.
But, I
imagine
strongly believe that my president
He's
feels my
feeling
pain.
that pain because
I
he's
strongly
working
believe
day
that.
and night. He's working day and
I
night to
strongly
make
believe
sure
that.
that we're all comfortable. But let's look at the speech. In the spirit, we've negotiated in good faith and with open arms with the organized labor on the new national minimum wage. We shall also send an executive bill to the National Assembly to enshrine what we have agreed upon as part of our law for the next 5 years or less. Now, will this be in favor of the labor or in favor of the Nigerian government? Because at this moment, people are anticipating what this executive bill will be all about.
You see, our reality check is that even 100,000 is not healthy for the economy. Apart from the governors who are not going to support it, and it is not healthy, believe you me. And I don't think this government will even do 70. But if they do 70, you can be sure that the state governors will not pay. And the thing is, they will say, okay, you want to earn the minimum wage, we will retrench. Then the labor will be between the devil and the deep state. The labor will now go back and tell the people, they say they will retrench you. And then the people will say, make them no retrench you. You know, that is how people are quick to, and then the moment they do that, then the governors have their way. Even as we speak, some states are paying 18,000, 20,000. The labor said all the governors on that tripartite committee are not paying 30. How could you put people on that committee to go and now negotiate new minimum wage when they are not even paying the old one? Isn't that ironic? We are a wonderful people. Labor, you see, I believe, though disappointed, like Dangote said this morning that they're going to delay again and all of that. These are the things that can put the economy, fast track, growth and, ease the pain of the people, at least, considerably. But we are not getting that. And when that starts, it will not impact. You cannot get the full impact until 90 days, 3 months. So, labor should just take whatever the government offers, maybe 65, maybe 70, and let's get to work. And make sure those people pay. You understand? They have been threatening, labor has been threatening at state level that they will stand up to the governor. But when the governor say, okay, we cannot pay, but if we are going to pay, they will just bring a list of those whom they are going to retrench. So that will be between the devil and the deep blue sea.
Yeah, you'll have to choose one out of that. Okay. Thank you very much, Comrade Adedamola, for being a part of the program this morning. Thank you for at least taking us back to that fateful Saturday morning in the year 1993, June 12th. And I'm talking about some other events that followed. Thank you very much.
Great memories. Moshood Abiola, a great man. And his name is never going to go away. Never.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Wishing you a very wonderful Democracy Day.
All right. Okay, it's still Democracy Day, and it's time for us to take your calls. I noticed while we were speaking with Comrade that the calls kept coming in. And the messages too.
Okay,
they're flowing.
I have two lengthy messages here on our Facebook page. This is coming from my namesake, ADEDAMOLA Okunlola. Good morning, beautiful people. Happy Democracy Day. But in actual fact, what are we enjoying in Nigeria as a democratic state? Security is nothing to write home about. Food prices are on the high side, and even fuel that is meant to be cheap is expensive. As regards state police, I support the Southwest governors on state police. It is a welcome development, and it will put the minds of those of us in the Southwest at rest. I appreciate the effort of Governor Seyi Makinde on making Amotekun effective in Oyo State by empowering them with cars to make their work swift. And I want to use this medium to advise the federal government to please approve the use of sophisticated weapons for them. Local security force is the solution to insecurity in southwestern Nigeria at large. Thank you. God bless Nigeria. God bless Oyo State. God bless Solutions FM. A big amen to your prayers.
Okay, there is more.
Okay, you want to take some more comments there?
Let's see.
I think I'm seeing one from
yes,
Oluwaseun Ruth as well.
Good morning. It's Democracy Day, but what exactly are we celebrating? Because almost everything has collapsed, which isn't far-fetched from the way insecurity has degenerated in the country. I will urge Mr. President to complement the effort of the surplus governors on the call for state lease and also allow them to carry sophisticated weapons. God bless Nigeria. Carrying sophisticated weapons?
By the Amotekun men. That's what she's referring to. Okay, I think it's a convenient point for us to wrap it up this morning. It's been an exciting Democracy Day edition on Solutions 93.9 FM. We'll be back same time tomorrow for a fresh edition of AM Update, starting off with Kickoff Sports with Oladapo Okonobe. From me, I say Happy Democracy Day. We need to keep being optimistic and hoping that we will get it right someday.
We'll get it right. At the same time, please pray for Nigeria as well. I know you say, why should we pray? Well, we also need to pray and put this nation into God's hands. Well, I do that every morning, say, God bless Nigeria. And I'm saying, God bless Nigeria. God bless you all for staying tuned. And God bless Solutions FM as well. My name is FAVOUR Olorontola. Have a wonderful, splendid Democracy Day.
Okay.
Diri Bosa.
Bosa! Bosa!